Now, if you want to learn how to get more people to say yes to your quotes and bids and sell more quotes and more work, then stay tuned. Tony from Profitable Trading. Hope you're doing great. Now today, I'm talking about how to get more people to say yes to your quotes and your bids. How to sell more stuff. Now, you know that this is important. You put a lot of time and effort into your quotes and your bids. You've got to sometimes go to site, get measurements, talk to merchants, a whole bunch of stuff, even just for smaller jobs. So if people say no or don't get back to you, it's a whole lot of time, opportunity, and potential sales and profits that are lost. If you get it right, you find that your sales process is way more time efficient. It's easier to get work. Team's busy, more profits are made, and you don't feel like you're wasting a lot of time and chasing your tail with your pricing. So I ran a training for our $1 Million Trading members, an hour-and-a-half training on this, and today what I'm going to do is just keep a very short video, about 10 minutes, and I'm just going to pick the bones out of that and give you the absolute bare basics that you need to get more people to say yes to your quotes. Now, there's some overall ideas that I think is really important to get our head across. So let's jump in and have a look at those. There's really 5 key principles that I think are critical for you to understand to make this really work hard for you. First one is you need to test it. So that means we need to understand what your hit rate for quotes is right now. So, are you winning 3 out of 10? Are you winning 5 out of 10? That's 50%. Or maybe it's 7 out of 10, which is 70%. Reason we want to know what you're doing now is we want a baseline. So we want to understand how it's looking now. So when we make changes, we can see the results. Now, if we don't have a baseline, we might make some changes and get some good wins, but we may not know it. And then we may not carry on with that sort of stuff. As with anything in your business, absolutely critical to test it and measure it so we can see what's working, what's not. So testing, absolutely critical. Also, what you might find is one area of your business, let's say you price a whole bunch of larger commercial work, you might find your hit rate's really low, and you might do some residential work, find that that's really high. That's important to dig into as well. So we've got to test it. So that's the first thing. Second thing, I want you to become a professional. Like, sales is a massively important part of business. Maybe you feel a little bit awkward about it. Maybe you feel a little bit like the used car salesman or the real estate person who's really pushy. It's not like that, but we do need to be professional. So most of us in business, we feel like we're at the mercy of the client's buying decisions. If they say yes, they'll say yes. Kind of not much we can do. That's just not true. What we need to do is become really professional and understand that we have a massive opportunity to get people to say yes if we're good. So we need to make sure that our clients are at the mercy of our sales process. And we understand that it's our job to actually help them get to a yes. Because most people, frankly, aren't very good at making a decision, and they'll procrastinate on making a decision. It's our job to help them. So we want to become a professional. Third thing is we want to open some loops. So what this means is we want to get the clients thinking about our offer, our solution, and how that stacks up against the competitors. What I mean by that is we want to open some loops and some curiosity in terms of what we're providing, which we'll spell out, and will the other service providers actually provide that, the other contractors? Way to think about this is if you think about the series that they have on Netflix. I don't know if you're anything like me, you get into a bit of a binge watching mode occasionally, and every episode it finishes on an absolute cliffhanger, and you're just curious. There might be 3 or 4 storylines open. Kind of want to do that a little bit with our quotes. The way we do that is to highlight some of the benefits that we are going to offer, like we might talk about our guarantees or our industry associations or the training and the skill and the certifications of our people in the field, our tradespeople. And then we want the clients to start thinking, oh, well, the other guys haven't talked about that. Maybe they don't do it. So they start questioning the other client's solution when we've actually opened some loops in ours. So that's important. Next one is we want to spell out the benefits. We want to make it crystal clear what the benefits actually are. Here's what happens most of the time with a quote or a bid. The actual document, the paper, says the price, the specs, it's valid for 30 days, and this is how you accept. That's kind of mad if it's our most important sales document. So we want to make sure that it's a sales letter that explicitly explains the benefits of using our solution. Why would you not do that? Because it needs to stand and talk for us when we're not there as well. We want to stand out from the crowd. Lastly, we want to build a process. We want to actually have a process for doing sales. And we want to be really clear on what steps we're going to follow. So let's have a look at that. Something I prepared earlier here. This is the process that we teach our $1 Million Tradie members. We break down the sales process into a series of steps. Then we can tweak each step and improve the overall process. So process is really simple. If we look along the top here, you'll see that there's several stages, if you like. So we've got the pre-inquiry stage, the inquiry stage, the pre-quote and bid stage, the deliver quote stage, the follow-up stage, and the after-sales service stage, which is where we wow them with a gift and a follow-up call. Obviously, you can't do this for every single job, but that's the overall process. And it doesn't apply to every job, but it's kind of the generic process that we want to have in our mind. So there's two parts that are important for us today. Obviously, this part here, delivering the quote's really important. Look, there's two other things you can do straight off the bat, even without quoting, without looking at your quotas. Be quick, get the quote done quickly. That's really massively important. So if you are quick with quoting and quicker than everyone else, you'll win more jobs, hands down. I can guarantee you that. And second is you want to follow up really strongly, either by phone preferably, and actually help people make a decision. So those are two strategies that I know they work all the time for our members, and if you do them, they'll work for you too. But the one that you may not have thought of actually comes back here in the inquiry stage, and it's really this little bad boy here. How do we qualify people? Because if they're not saying yes to our quote, sometimes it's because they could never say yes, and basically they're mucking us around. I'm sure you've already all done quotes for tire kickers, so you need to qualify during your inquiry stage. And there's 4 things you want to qualify. You want to make sure that they can pay, they've got budget. You've got to make sure you're talking to the right decision makers. So you've got to get everyone around the table, otherwise they'll say, I need to talk to my wife, or my husband, or my partner, or my significant other, my cat or my dog, or whatever. That's just an excuse. You've let them do that by not talking to everyone. Third, you've got to make sure it's the right time. So do they want to do it now? Is it a now thing? And fourthly, do they have a need? Do they have a need that you can meet? Is it something that's actually important, or is it just like a whatever? So you've got to do that. So that's the process. Have a process and really focus on qualification, so that the quote, you're actually doing quotes for people who can say yes. That's the key thing. Okay, so that's some of the sort of background. There is some other nitty-gritty little secrets that I want to drill into now, and they're really around how you actually put your quote together, because that's what we wanted to talk about today. So how do we make our quote actually sell? The actual quote document. So let's jump in there and let's have a good look at how that works. Okay, so I'm just going to change screen there. Here we go. So the quote document itself, well, don't just make it boring with here's the price, here's the specs, here's how long it lasts, and here's how to say yes. Got to make sure how to say yes is on there, by the way. Sometimes people miss that. It wants to have a cover letter, which is a sales letter, which actually explains the value and the benefits of working with you, and why they should say yes to you, and why they should say yes to the fair but decent price that you've charged that allows you to get great value from the job. So that's the cover letter, and I'm going to talk about that in a bit more detail in a second. The next part of it is obviously you need to put the price and the specs in. So that's as per normal. Then you want to include, your guarantee, how you guarantee your work. Make sure that's included, because most won't do that. And include a bunch of testimonials, social proof about, hey, we do a great job. Here's what other people have said about us. It's a no-brainer. We can be trusted. We're reliable. We're worth our word and what we're charging. But let's just dig in and have a look at the quote, the actual sales letter itself, because this is some little bits of magic which can make a huge difference to you and getting to yes with your quotes. Which obviously saves you a massive amount of time, and it's just way better. So this is a sales letter, and this is what our members use to get more yeses. First thing is, you'll notice that it's on a nice letterhead. Company, we just use an example here, XYZ Plumbing. It's got the date, and then you'll see that, I'll I'll just make that a little bit bigger. It kicks off by saying, have you noticed that other plumbing companies, let's say, tend to just do a quote? That is, they give you a price and that's all, as if price were the only thing worth considering when planning a job. Now, if all jobs and trade, you put your type of contract business in there, if all jobs and plumbing companies were the same, that'd be true. But in reality, there are massive differences, things that matter like quality of materials, project management, experience, reputation of the company, how much planning is required, help with choosing plans, choosing the right materials, critically, how many years will they last? Not to mention important differences between trade companies, things like skills and experience of their team, will they deliver on the features, whether they offer a guarantee, how they manage the other contractors, will they stick to the budget and timelines, are they a master plumber or electrician or landscaper or whatever, can they give you unbiased professional advice to give you the best result? Okay. So, and we go a bit further, we say, hey, think seriously about what you want from your trade company. So you put plumbing in there if that's you, or electrical, whatever you are. Whilst what's the price is an important question, here are a few others that are worth asking. And then we go through some pretty pointed open loops. So all of this stuff in here, all through here, is all about opening loops, creating curiosity, and basically getting them to ask, hey, do the other guys who've got quotes for do this? Like, we haven't seen anything like this. We haven't seen them talk about their 87-point safety quality insurance checklist, which we have in here. We haven't heard them talk about our 7-point extensive guarantee. We haven't heard them talk about their 49 references, which is in here. Checklist here, 7-point guarantee, 32 years of experience. All this stuff, we're spelling out the specific benefits. We're making it really crystal clear. So, specificity. Lucky I can even remember how to spell that, actually. But anyway, you get the idea. So we've made it really crystal clear about what the benefits are. And then, obviously, at the end, we go on to say, of course, I wouldn't draw your attention to this if XYZ Plumbing didn't fulfill the above criteria and much more. Okay. And we've, told what's in the quote. We've said our price and our specification, our unbeatable 7-point guarantee, our industry associations, which we've put down here as well. So we've put the credentials in there. And then we've even put an example of our quality assurance process. So we've actually attached a screen dump of some of the quality programs that we have. Now, most people will never do that, and you'll be amazed how much credibility that gives you when you're showing the actual systems and processes that you have in your business. So, you can see it's a little bit different to your standard quote, but it makes a massive difference. So, key here is you can get more people to say yes, no doubt about that. How you do it? Well, you've got to position yourself differently from all the other guys and girls who are marketing. Do it quickly, quote quickly, follow up. But when you're doing the quote together, actually turn it into a sales letter and highlight the benefits of working with you. Make sure you got your credentials in there, all the authority building pieces, open loops, so they're asking questions about the other service providers. Provide examples of the authority that you have, like screen dumps of your systems, like your guarantee. Put all that stuff in there, and what that does is they're like, wow, haven't seen anything like this. These guys look ultra professional. I can see why I should say yes to them. I can see why they actually charge what they do, because they're clearly better. Okay, so you can do this as well. It takes a little bit of work, but obviously it's well worth it, because if you can save time quoting, get more people to say yes, you're on a winner. You get time back and you get more sales. So I hope you found that helpful. If you have and you want some more help, there's a link here. Just click on the link. You can grab a short 15-minute phone call with one of our strategy coaches. And look, we'll just ask you some questions about where you're at, how things are going, and we'll figure out if or how we can help. If we can, we'll tell you the next steps from there and we can have a discussion. Otherwise, happy pricing, and let's start creating that real point of difference in our quotes so we get more yeses from our clients.